What's good? We're here Monday, Agent Talk. Hope everybody's having a great day today. So far, it's 9:03 a.m. Monday, March 16th, and we're back. Got a few things I wanted to touch on, but first, it's Monday. I just hope everybody, is having a great start to the quote-unquote work week. I talked about this before, but for the average individual from Monday to Friday, I want to say there's at least a 30% drop in productivity from Monday then to Friday throughout the week, just daily decrease. With that said, and I think that's inevitable, even for me, like I get to the weekends and sometimes I am zapped, just from being in the work mode, the work life, whatever you want to call it. However, the higher you set that bar on Monday, even if there's a decrease, then it's okay. If you're someone shooting 100 points on a Monday and then by Friday, they decrease to 70, that's a lot better than someone starting off on Monday with a 70 and going out in 40. That's just numbers, easy statistics. So let's get to it. Let's be great this week. No reason not to. One thing I want to talk about, is, it's agent talk. So just kind of where we are right now. With everything going on, again, the topic of discussion is obviously the coronavirus. That's what everybody wants to talk about. A lot of people are fearful about, whatever it might be. And for me, I've realized just through taking in wisdom knowledge that you can choose how you want to operate during this time. You can choose to say, I'm going to allow this time to affect me mentally, emotionally, spiritually. Or you can choose to say, I'm going to make progress in this time, this period of time. I'm going to not let circumstance affect me, but I am going to maneuver, adjust, adapt to that circumstance. That's one thing that I've realized just listening to just men that have been successful over the long term. Even, as we read, through the word, even like a Daniel who, you're put in hostile territory, hostile environment, and you just choose to, not change your morals or the way you live, but, be able to adapt to any circumstance. Why do I say this? For me as an agent, they're pushing back pro days. They are, potentially pushing back the draft. I think that'll happen. And what does that mean? For me, I'm in a situation where I have to maneuver everything going on. I don't know who said this, but somebody said this, or I might have thought this up myself. But being an agent, you do nothing but problem solve. That's what being an agent is to me. A lot of people think it's dependent on the contract, this and that, but 90% of the work I do is just problem solving. And for me, with everything being postponed, pushed back, I'm trying to figure out what are the best ways to maneuver. I've talked about pro days on another episode, check it out. But one thing, everything with this corona has shown me, for myself as an agent, of what I'm trying to do and my vision for our company, for my brand, for my family, for everything, is you have to be able to work from your phone. We have to be able to work in isolation. We have to be able to work from from home. I've been blessed that I was talking to my man Jordan J-Mac, and he calling me, asking how I was doing. I said, man, I'm grateful to not have to travel, to be able to just, give me 2-3 months to get the planning and plotting on some marketing and on some branding and on some, even with the draft, to giving me more time to get our guys prepared, more time to figure out which roster situations are going to be better for our potential priority free agents. For me, it's like, figure out what's, anytime something gets shifted or off balance in society or the world, it's natural to take that step back. But for me, it's like, okay, now that we are here, this virus is here. Postponements are here. It's all here, what are we going to do from here? Are we going to live in fear? Are we going to sit back? Are we going to say, woe is me? Or are we going to utilize this time to learn, grow, adapt? And right here, Grady Media. I don't know if I've talked about this on the podcast. Check us out at Grady Media. Right now, I'm going through some just throwback posts on there, starting that page up. But for me, again, with this time, it showed me we have to be able to work in different avenues than we've done before. Simple, branding wise, content wise, as an athlete, it's the perfect time to figure out who you are beyond your profession. It's the perfect time. There's no ball right now. Nobody's playing right now. This is the time. What an athlete does in this time is going to be critical for their transition after ball for these next 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. For an athlete, you got all the time in the world now. No excuse, in my opinion, no excuse not to be growing your brand. No excuse not to be pushing organic, user-generated content through IG, through YouTube, whatever it could be. No reason not to start a podcast. No reason not to start a blog. No reason not to read a book. You got all the time in the world. Time to the physical is being taken out right now. The social aspect of life is being taken out for the foreseeable future, right? Hone in on the mental, the spiritual. What for me it's like, man, I got at least 1 month to just be locked in, to get to the blueprints, to, get to the next agent. One thing I'm going through right now is the next draft class, 2021 draft class, putting that together. Shout out my guys that's helping me with that. And you giving me now, I don't have to worry about pro days. You're taking pro days off right now. I don't have to worry about calling this person or that person. I'm still doing my job, don't get me wrong, still working for my guys. I talk to my guys every day. We're still plotting, still scheming, but now you got me here and I'm able to just lock in. Come on. My wife mentioned this before. She said, what if God is using this as a time to bring fathers back into the home, to bring husbands back home, to bring families back together, to bring parents back with their children, to have the focus on the family? We don't see that when we're so focused and worried about the fear. We don't see that when we're so, getting ourselves amped up by what the media is pushing, what society is pushing. And again, there are people dying. I know it's a sensitive topic. And, for me, it's just, I hope they were saved and that they would, just praise it right now. And if so, they're good. Nothing to worry about. So I know I can kind of get on my rants. Let me get back. One thing with the Grady Media that I also want to mention is for me, is showing me, in this time, as an agent, say it's football season right now. My guys aren't able to play because their games are suspended, postponed, whatever it could be. And it showed me I have to be able to bring income in. I have to have a brand. I have to be able to maneuver outside of just what the typical agent has provided. I've talked about this now for years. Starting this media company, doing some more in the marketing. Shout out my guy Grayson Rogers. Check him out, IG. Check him out on Twitter. Let me see. I got his IG up here somewhere, I think. Do I? I don't know. All right, maybe not. I'll get back to it. But, there you go right here. Grayson Rogers Music. Shout out Kayla. Kayla's on here too, Mrs. Grayson Rogers on IG. But met with him on Friday, met with both of them on Friday. And I told myself, I want to be able to work with individuals that are not just football players. I want to get into basketball. I want to get into music. I want to be able to get into acting. I want to be able to work with businesses. I want to be able to work, in every field. No need to limit yourself. And there's a quote I'll get back to in a second. But long story short with Grayson, just meeting with him, presenting our branding strategy to him, presenting our social media approach to him, talking to him about certain things that he can do content creation wise to get out into the community, to engage with fans, to connect with people online, to venture outside of, I'm just a country music artist. And, it's showing me, our approach is not just for NFL players. It's for everybody. If you, run a dentistry, you should have an online platform, an online approach, a digital media approach where, during this time, people don't have to drive by your billboard. They can see your ad on their phone, and it's just little things, just little clues that God is dropping. Like, this is it. There's ways that we can learn in this time if we so choose it. The quote I was going to get back to is, one thing a lot of people say is the quote, a jack of all trades is a master of none, is what people say. A jack of all trades is a master of none. meaning an individual that has his hand here, his hand there, his hand there, is a master of none. They allude to, that quote is meant to allude to that it's better to just kind of hone in on your one thing and just boom, right? And just stick to it. However, I just saw, and this could be made up, this could not. This could be made up, it could be not. I don't know. I saw it online though. It said that a lot of people, I guess, don't finish that quote. And that quote says, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. You got to catch that one more time. A jack of all trades is, what I just said, a jack of all trades is a master of none, but oftentimes better than a master of one. Woo! This ain't Wednesday, but those are some wise words. And so for me, it's like, man, I need to be able to be an agent. I need to be able to market my players with this podcast. I need to be able to push this, this podcast. I want to get into speaking. I'm already started to write the book. Different things that God has placed, and it's like, here, touch it here, touch it here, getting into the community more, touch it here, in regards to with the church, in regards to Bible study, and just different things. We have so many different gifts that we choose not to hone into. And for me, it's like during this time, let's get to it. Let's build, let's sharpen. I don't know. It's just, even with the gym, I love my guys. Shout out 5 a.m. crew. We at the gym and you see less and less people are coming, and especially for those older individuals, because there is a decent amount of them at our gym. Definitely prayers to y'all, and thank you for being smart. In regards to your health. But a lot of people, in my opinion, are choosing. Like, there's a difference between being cautious. I can't say it. Between being cautious and being fearful. And I think a lot of people are choosing to be fearful over being cautious. We go to the gym, we write everything down, make sure that everything is, copacetic. Shout out Jeff and shout out Charlie for making sure that we're doing that. But for me, it's like, man, this place, God's presence is in here too, so why stop going? Why get out of a routine that has bred you success, has bred you fellowship, has bred you, progress in your life? Why switch that up because of, the fear that goes on in the world? I think Mike Todd spoke on this. I want to say this was yesterday in his message, but was saying how, I think it was him, not 100% sure. It might have been Metcalf, not 100%. But the spirit of fear and actual fear are two different things. And it hit me for a second. I needed to kind of digest that, but it's true because, the spirit of fear is real. If it wasn't real, the Bible wouldn't speak on it. In Timothy, it tells us that God does not give us a spirit of fear, but the spirit of fear is real. It's just something that a lot of people in our world have right now. However, the fear, okay, so two different things, okay? This is key. You got the spirit of fear, which is real. That's internal. That's inside of you. I've had the spirit of fear inside of me. One thing I wanted to mention is, again, not to be insensitive, but one thing I was truly just fearful of in my life was calling people. As an agent, this is agent talk, so I was just calling people. I would be afraid to call somebody. I would be afraid to pick up the phone because I was fearful that they would reject me and that they would not pick up, that they wouldn't take me seriously, that whatever it could be, I would be afraid. And Lewis Howell spoke on this. He was saying how for us, we have to be able to step into that fear, instead of trying to avoid that fear, because what's on the other side of that fear, most of the time it's nothing. Jeff has spoken on this recently. I think Craig Gresham has spoken on this recently, how, we're anxious for nothing. Anxious for nothing. I want to say in Psalm, I believe I read a Psalm the other day, we become anxious for nothing. And going back to that fear and that spirit of fear is real. The spirit of fear is crippling, it's depressing, it's paralyzing. The spirit of fear is something I've seen loved ones just live in. And you have to realize that the fear is not real. And that's where we get confused. Like, people say, oh, fear is real. No, fear is not real. But the spirit of fear, that thing that has you like, and you even kind of feel it when it's coming on, that is real. And I just want to encourage people out here is like, don't choose the spirit of fear. Like, and one thing I was thinking today, I was telling my guy Jordan, is truthfully, I ain't really spoken on this with a lot of people, and I hope my wife is okay with me speaking on this, but recently her mucus plug, okay, transparency here, came out. She's pregnant. We're doing 3-4 weeks, came out, and she showed me, and I was completely freaked out. I really was. But she had shown me online and was just saying how, the mucus plug is the last thing that I guess comes out before the baby comes out. Like the last kind of thing that comes out before the baby comes out. And, I was thinking today, I was telling George, I was like, man, baby could be here any day. I have an agency. I'm starting a media company, a podcast. Got the Bible study, got the 5 a.m. crew, marriage gathering, my wife, home, got to pay the rent. I just got too much. I've already got enough to worry about. I don't have and this is just me speaking, I don't have time to be worried about what's going on in the world. I don't have time to be worried about, or attention, not even just time, attention, energy. I don't have it. To get into it. To be able to do what I'm trying to do, I cannot be in that spirit of fear. Like, I just can't. And that's just the truth. And this is no shame to anybody else. Anybody, I encourage y'all, choose that good in your life. Choose, and I don't know what's going to happen with this virus. Again, I know people are dying, not to be insensitive to it. But we can choose. One thing Stuart Scott said, cancer is something that will cripple a lot of people. And he said, you don't win or lose the fight with cancer by dying. When you die, you didn't lose. And that's what the issue with a lot of us, we would look at dying as losing. We would look at getting the coronavirus as losing. Okay, that's the truth. We look at, if you get it, you're losing. Or if you give it to someone, even accidentally, you're losing. And that's not the case. To lose, he said, was to let cancer change the way that you were living. He said to win his fight with cancer was to, and I'm paraphrasing here, but it was essentially to live with joy, to live with purpose, to still wake up seeking. And, one thing, shout out again, Kayla Rogers, talking to her right now. She's going through cancer herself, going through chemo. And she was just saying, she chooses the good. Like a lot of people would be in her shoes, completely freaked out, paralyzed, just out of it. And she's just like, I'm going. Let's go. And I just, again, want to encourage somebody today. We're here, Agent Talk. I know I'm rambling, so about to wrap it up. Just want to encourage somebody, seek the good, choose the good. Don't succumb to the spirit of fear, and just trust that it's all beneath God. If you haven't checked it out, check out my last interview with my guy Jeff Bland, and shout out T-Tape G. This is the footstool world, and it's all been placed under Jesus' feet, and we just need to trust that He's overcome it all. There's a place beyond this, and especially as believers, for me, it always goes back to God. Read the Word, see what happens. We're going through Bible study, reading Revelations. At the end of the Word, right? This is at the end of the Bible. This ain't Bible study, but we're about to get into it real quick. Won't take more than 60 seconds. In Revelation, he tells us at the end of right now, there's 7 letters to the churches that Jesus is speaking to the churches in Revelation. So Revelation, the end times, okay? So the future. So our future. So, hello, future. This is truth here. If you're a believer, maybe you're not. It is what it is. But at the end of every letter to a church, 7 churches, okay, it always says, and he who overcomes. So he who overcomes gets, boom, okay? So, a letter right here, chapter 2:7. To him who overcomes, I will give to eat from the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. That's one. So these are from Jesus, okay? The man that we say we believe in, okay? Next, 2:11. He who overcomes shall not be hurt by the second death. Next, 2:17. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat. I'll say that one more time. To him who overcomes, I will give some of the hidden manna to eat. And I will give him a white stone, and on the stone a new name written, which no one knows except him who receives it. Okay? Next. 2:26. And he who overcomes and keeps my works until the end, to him I will give power over the nations. And I will give him the morning star. This is 28, 29. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. 3:5. He who overcomes, get it? He who overcomes, that's key. He who overcomes shall be clothed in white garments, and I will not blot out his name from the book of life, but I will confess his name before my Father and before his angels. Truth here. He who, again, get it? He who overcomes, what's next? He who overcomes, this is 3:12. He who overcomes, I will make him a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go out no more. I will write on him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, the new Jerusalem, which comes down out of heaven from my God, and I will write on him my new name. Last one, 3:21. To him who overcomes, I will grant to sit with me on my throne, as I also overcame. So I just spoke on this. Jesus says, as I also overcame and sat down with my Father on his throne. He who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. So for us, just encouragement, like it's been put under his feet. Jesus overcame death and trust in the resurrection. Shout out my man, T-State G. Jesus' blood is our vaccine. Don't know. Somebody else said it, maybe to him, but that's it. Just an encouragement. If you received anything from this, please subscribe. Please share. We are here at Agent Talk, at Agent Talk on IG, starting up in Agent Talk YouTube. Plan to put this on there. Please share it out. Send it to a friend. At Agent Grady _ on IG, Twitter. Give us a follow. That's it. We out.